Even as a young boy, he preferred breaking the rules and living on his own terms. He always got into trouble. I was going to say never got into trouble. I would have really been lying. He always got into trouble, but it was always good-natured trouble. It was always standing up for himself in school and talking back to a teacher, that stuff of that nature. So it was never anything mean-spirited, but he always lived on his own terms. And he was always, despite our family being really close, he was always out on the street. He was always the one missing in action. He left home young, but realized that he could always rely on the love and support of his family when he needed it. He rarely returned home to Chicago, but when he did, it was a welcome and wonderful occasion. And as my brothers and I, sisters and I, as we grew older and all went different places, he's got a sister who's a missionary in Kenya. He's got a brother who's a fireman. He's got a brother who's a decorated Marine. And we went different places, but we'd end every phone call with saying, well, have you heard from Gabe? Anyone, you get a phone call from Gabe? We always wanted to know where Gabe, or if anyone had heard from Gabe. And up until my mother died in 2008, Gabe was the only one that my mother kept insurance on. But we loved him for all that, for being himself. Gabe was always, he was always popular, well-liked, and known for being fun-loving. Thanks to his grandmother Lula, who took us to the racetrack when we were really young, he developed a love for horses and horse racing at a really young age. I didn't like it. He would take us and she would leave us, and sometimes we'd find ourselves in the racetrack security station and we'd be there for hours, but somehow Gabe still developed a love for the horses. And you know, I just couldn't do it. But and as a child, I was known in my neighborhood. If I go back to my neighborhood in Chicago today, if people see me, they'll say, Little Gabriel. That's Little Gabriel. And I wear that name proudly because everyone in the neighborhood knew Gabe and liked Gabe. He was really well liked. As a man, I named my son after my brother because I was proud of him, and I'm still proud of him. Unlike his 8 siblings, he never went to college, he never earned a degree, he never settled down with a wife. That's okay. But despite all that, none of that matters. When looking back on my brother's life, what matters is that he was a good man. As Pastor Tom said, he was a believer. He had a good heart and an earnest desire to always be kind and generous and helpful to those around him. This is what makes us most proud of Gabe, knowing he was a good man. His daughter Stormy was the brightest star in his life, and having met her, I know why. She's amazing, and she's a living legacy to my brother. She'll go on to do great things. She'll, I just hope she'll uphold his memory. I'm sure she will. She looks like him. It's amazing. And he had Veronica in his life, who was a constant support as well. So he was surrounded by really good, really beautiful people in his life, and that's really good to know as well. We never got enough of my brother. It's comforting to know that away from us, he had another family, as I said before. All of you were his family, who loved and supported him unconditionally. We can't thank you all enough. On behalf of my family, I say this. We can't thank you all enough for surrounding our brother with your unique and nurturing love. You have all made my brother's all too brief life both rewarding and enjoyable. And for that, we are eternally grateful to you all. Like you all, Gabriel's goodness and free spiritedness will forever be in our hearts. And again, I thank you all. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
His death. He says, I know my departure has come, and he said, I fought a good fight. He attributed his life as a fighting match, a boxing match. Boxers, no matter how was thrown at Gabe, he got up, kept going. And then he said, I have finished the race. He attributed his life as a race. especially on the racetrack, is the one that Paul the Apostle wrote. He was sitting in jail. Nero was going to kill him, and he knew his time was short. And Paul the Apostle, he wrote half the New Testament. He loved sport.